Oh, this chair is so squeaky. Okay. Hello. I recorded myself talking about a month ago, back when I suddenly decided to be a YouTuber and make a million videos, that I recorded myself talking about being diagnosed with bipolar 2, and I interviewed myself at a low and at a high because I made a promise to myself a long time ago that after struggling with mental health stigmas for myself and the people I love, that I would be totally transparent about anything I went through. That doesn't mean it is easy. I hadn't rewatched that video that I posted until last night, and knowing that people have seen me cry kills me. But we all do it, and as tempted as I've been to take the video down, I know that if I had seen that back when I was struggling with things, it may have helped me understand what was going on and might have inspired me to seek help earlier. That being said, I have been on my new medication for probably a month and a half now. So I was on it during that video, but it hadn't quite kicked in yet. With medications for mental health issues, they usually take a long time. You have to titrate them up when you start them, and then in addition to that, it takes a while for them to kick in. And I am very happy and very proud to say that I'm doing really good, and things have been good for a while now. I know that I've mentioned 1,010,000 times in the videos that I've posted that I had a thesis due. I submitted my final draft last night for approval. 49 pages on the communicative properties of fashion shows based in research in the social psychology of dress. Oof, look at her go. And that was a project that was just symbolic of this entire journey, because I started it when I was undiagnosed and unmedicated, didn't even know there was something wrong with me, but for some reason, for the first time in my academic career, there was something that I just could not make happen. And I was going through for these theses, you have to build a committee. You ask somebody to be your primary advisor, or a professor, not just anybody. So you find a professor to be your primary advisor, and then you get 2 other professors to be on your committee. That committee then reads your thesis once you complete it, and your primary advisor signs off on the project. And that's how you graduate. So I started off with one committee with one primary advisor, and I completely ruined the relationship because I would, this was the period where these symptoms were the worst that they've ever been in my life. It's this year, though I've had this for a long time to some degree, I believe this year was when it really kicked in. And I would go to my primary advisor on a high and I would say, listen, I know I'm doing this thesis about this thing, but I'm going to change my topic and I'm going to write about this thing. And she would say, oh my God, you only have a couple months left. And I'd be like, I can do anything. And then I would hit a low and I wouldn't do anything. And then I would go back 2 or 3 weeks later and I'd say, listen, prof, I didn't do anything, but I have a new idea. And so I'm going to change my topic and it's going to be fine. And I caused her so much stress that she quit my committee. Or we just kind of decided that it wouldn't be great for us to continue working together. And I took a deep breath, and this was right during the time when I got my first diagnosis, so I kind of started to realize, oh my gosh, something's happening. This is not me. I'm usually very on it. I have never damaged a relationship with a teacher like that. It was really shocking, and it kind of sent me into an identity crisis. I have been a self-identified nerd my entire life, and that was just very jarring. And for a long time, this project became this thing that I couldn't do, and this thing that my illness was going to take away from me, which caused me to question, okay, if I have this now for the rest of my life, how am I going to get a job? How am I going to live my life? How am I going to do anything? And so I wanted to come here today and say, yeah, hell yeah. Last night I turned in a thesis and I did it. And it literally would not have been possible if I hadn't sought help and got my proper diagnosis and been put on my proper medicine. And my God, it just feels so good to be normal. And looking back at that video that I posted a month ago, I just wish I could give her a hug and say, listen, I know you don't think, or you don't trust the process, you don't think that the medication is going to work because it didn't work the first time, but it will. And, you know, getting diagnoses and finding the right treatment process take a really long time. But once you find them, it's like you can breathe again for the first time in years. And I woke up really excited about that today, so I wanted to make another video. There's something else I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, a huge part of this process for me has been worrying that once I realized that I have bipolar 2, I started wondering, you know, if I would be smart when I recovered, or if I would still be high achieving when I recovered, which sounds crazy, but there is a lot of romanticism around mania and hypomania. And I think I even contributed to that a little bit in my last video. I was talking about how I believed some of my greatest accomplishments to have been symptom of hypomania. And I was referencing Winston Churchill, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. God, it's been a while since I read that book, but a couple prominent historical figures who have had bipolar depression or depression. And yeah, I guess I'm just here to say that it's false. And it's a really dangerous romanticism because it makes people not seek help. And I was scared to seek help because to some degree I identify as an artist, and I was worried that if I was healthy that I wouldn't be able to make art anymore. But the interesting thing is that my mental illness was actually the main thing getting in my way. And yes, I was being very productive, but I was producing a lot of weird and rushed projects that didn't really make any sense. So I'm excited to be back to the nerdy academic Sophie. I can't believe that I'm graduating from the honors college. I already graduated from Oregon, but I needed this thesis to graduate the honors college, which I'd worked for 4 years to do, and my symptoms almost took that away from me, but it's looking like it's gonna happen. So cheers to amazing professors who believe in your abilities no matter what you're going through and support you. Cheers to people and how many times they have surprised me and made me realize that I didn't give a lot of people the chance to be there for me. And cheers to medicine and therapy and psychiatry, and cheers to being even-keeled. It's good. I'm very happy. I'm not ecstatic. I'm not crazy, hyper ecstatic. I'm just happy. And it's a foreign feeling, but I can't wait to get used to it.